Hi there, and welcome back. So, this time we're going to talk about what I've titled the vast empty core. The human body is a fascinating creation. All life on this planet is connected and tied together in such a way that nothing can exist without other life. All life on this planet is made up of cells, from the one-celled amoeba to more complex organisms. Everything lives and dies. Every creature has to eat, and everything needs an energy source. We come in all kinds of shapes and sizes, but when you think about life, we mostly think about ourselves, and for good reason. We are closer to ourselves than anything else. Everything we experience in this world is from our view. It is seen from inside our bodies. When we talk about our bodies, we call them ours. These are my eyes, this is my hand, my ears, my mouth, my arms, my legs. Everything that you think about yourself, you want to always keep saying, well, this is me, this is mine, when in fact, none of it is you. Absolutely none of it. It is just a shell. The body that you claim to be yours isn't even as old as you think it is. About every 7 years, almost every cell in the body is replaced. Some cells are replaced more frequently. For instance, the liver is replaced every 150 to 500 days, while your bones may take up to 10 years to fully be replaced. There have been many different versions of you over the course of your life, from being a baby to being a teen to the adult you are now, none of which is you today. The core of what makes you up is nothing but energy that is flowing inside your body. You have almost 100 watts of power coursing inside you. This energy source is responsible for everything from your beating heart and pumping your blood around your body to feeding, oxidizing, cooling, eliminating waste, fighting off disease, and creating brain waves that form in your mind. It is this spark of energy that keeps your cells growing and your whole system moving. But where did it come from? We know how it started by the division of cells at fertilization, but where did it originally come from? And this is where this kind of gets a little wonky and a little off track, because where did that original pulse, where did that original energy come from? And the thing is that it came from the beginning of everything. You ended up getting your energy source from your parents, and your parents from their parents, and their parents from their parents, and so on. It's a chemical reaction that's kind of creating this energy that is keeping you moving. We learned in school that matter is neither created nor destroyed, only transformed. This is called the law of conservation of mass. It states that the total amount of mass and energy in the universe is constant. This is where the source of all life comes into play. It is neither created nor destroyed. It only changes form. Think about that in who you are. The body is an organism that has mass and energy. It appears to us that we were created, that we were born and have grown up, but really, we have just been in a constant state of change. That law challenges what we think about and how we see ourselves. We are just matter that is in a state of flux. It goes against the thought of life and death. That matter that makes you up is a constant. That spark of energy is also neither created nor destroyed through the law of conservation of energy. It just changes form from chemical to kinetic. It is that spark of energy that keeps you alive, and it is what holds your soul to this plane of existence. Everything in your body at this very moment has always been and always will continue to be. Your body is a shell that holds that energy and mass for this moment. Everything you are today was something else yesterday, and it will be something else tomorrow. You are connected to everything that has ever been and everything that ever will be. Your spark came from the life source, and it will continue. So when you feel so disconnected from life, this is important to remember. You are the universe. You are life. I want you to kind of ponder that over the course of this week. And just think about that fact that everything that has ever existed, not only on this planet, but in the universe, you are a part of it. You are it. There's no way around it. There isn't. You are absolutely connected to everything that has ever existed and ever will exist. From that moment of conception, the spark started dividing and growing the cells into a human form, 1 into 2 into 4, and so on, until you became the trillions of cells you are today. It has been taking in elements to use them to form cells that make up your body. All of these elements came from somewhere else. They were introduced into your forming cells from what your mother had consumed, those plants and animals that ate other things, which in turn ate other things, and so on. The apple that grew on the tree took its nourishment from the minerals in the soil, the sunlight from the heavens, and the water from the sky. All of these things were something else before the apple. We are all connected to even more than we know. You know, when we go and we pick up that apple at the store, we don't really think about, how much has gone into that to be able to have that apple there in your hand. And that's something for you to sit back and kind of ponder about, and to realize, once again, when we talk about how connected absolutely everything is, this is much bigger than most of the things that you think about throughout the course of your day. We all know that we need the sun in order for life to be here, but we're not really always connecting all of those dots to color in that picture, and we're not thinking about it. Once you start thinking about some of these bigger concepts, it really starts showing you where you fit in all of this. And with this kind of an understanding, this is where all of those things that we had talked about in these previous episodes, most of that stuff doesn't even make sense to even hold on to or to keep dealing with. The fear, the anger, the stress, the worry, all of this stuff is so much bigger than any of that emotional stuff that you are blinded by throughout the course of your day. We've all heard the phrase, we are a spiritual being having a human experience. But what does that mean? There are so many different labels that can be put upon us. Earthling, human, Homo sapien, male, female, and so on. But none of these terms actually explain anything about what we are, just where we are and how the rest of the world sees us. We get so caught up in those labels that we forget that we are spiritual beings. So, what are we? The human body is made up of many different elements and compounds that give us shape and presence. The vessel in which we live and experience this world. Our bodies are made up of about 60% water, which is one of the most powerful forces on the planet. It can take on many different forms, from liquid to gas to being a solid. It can hold life, it can cut a canyon through rock, or it can fall from the sky to nourish and clean. It is probably the most versatile force on the planet. And we are mostly made up of this element. We contain that power of water. We are also 90% of 6 key elements: oxygen, carbon, nitrogen, hydrogen, calcium, and phosphorus. We are less than 1% of 5 other elements: potassium, sulfur, sodium, magnesium, and chloride. And there are about 50 other elements that make up our bodies and help with bodily function. And these include iron, copper, zinc, silver, gold, nickel, lithium, and aluminum. We are made up of about 60 of the 94 naturally occurring elements on the planet. There are about 200 different types of cells in the human body, and each one serves a different function, such as creating muscles, skin, organs, bones, and blood. 2/3 of the cell structure is made up of water, leaving the other 1/3 to be composed of proteins, DNA, RNA, lipids, carbohydrates, and small molecules. There are roughly 37.2 trillion cells in the body of an average human adult. Each cell is made up of atoms, which are made up of particles consisting of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Even though we have shape and form and appear to be solid, the truth is that we are 99.999% empty space. The body is nothing but empty space at the core of the atoms. Nothing. Isn't that crazy? The funny thing is that when they started looking at the atoms and they started looking down at all of the components, the protons, the neutrons, and the electrons, they seen all this empty space. And the farther that they go and the smaller that they go looking, the more empty space they end up finding. Most of what you are is nothing. You're just empty space. See, when we see photos of the stars in the heavens, there's a lot of emptiness. Nothing, just like us. Most of what is out there is nothing but empty space. We are like a mirror of the universe to which we are connected. You are like everything you see around you. Everything that you think is solid is made up of the same things, and they are just empty space as well. Right now, there are subatomic particles that are flying through you like you aren't even there. There is no difference between the elements that make up your body and what you see in the sky or that table where you're eating your dinner at. Everything is made up of the same things, and at the core of all of that is absolutely nothing. It's just empty space. It appears to be solid, but it's not. And you know this for a fact. You know that right now, there's waves that are going right through you. That's why, you can set a radio down and turn it on, and the radio starts playing. Those radio waves are circling right through you. If you go the other way and look at what makes the body up, it is a universe of organisms that aren't even human. Your body contains bacteria, mites, fungus, viruses, microbes, and other microscopic organisms. They outnumber our human cell count by 10 to 1. We need these in order to stay alive. They are vital for this machine that we know as our body to work properly. They help keep us healthy from other bad invaders into our system. They help with growth, digestion, and eliminating waste. They give off odors that signal our overall health, our genealogy, and into attracting mates. You are like a tiny universe, a self-contained ecosystem with over 10,000 different types of microbes living on or in your body. And when you want to understand the great design, remember, you are it. It is inside you, and it is acting in accordance with the laws of the universe. Do you really still think that you are your body when most of it is empty space and it isn't even human? So just kind of ponder that stuff. Let your mind kind of run wild and entertain some of those thoughts for the next week. And we'll get back and talk a little bit more about this stuff. And so, until next time, Happy thinking and take care.